Since stories have begun, writers have always imagined a force greater than humans taking over the species. Since the invention of the most basic computers, and even before then, we've had stories like A Space Odyssey, Terminator, and Westworld that all explore the idea that humanoids might one day control humans. It's interesting to ponder at least, and we'll come back to this a bit later. But what these fictional programs base their plots on is the principle of artificial intelligence, or AI. While these films are romanticized and dramatized interpretations, AI is actually quickly becoming another game-changing technology to the entire planet. We all text, right? And a lot of us are using predictive texting. Well, that is a basic sort of AI. It learns from what you have previously texted and makes suggestions for your next word. Not only logical suggestions, but personalized suggestions. Words that you frequently use will appear before more logical ones. That's how AI works. It learns from past activity. So imagine you have a big event coming up with 10 busy people. You send out an email and wait for everyone's response. Sure enough, some can meet on Tuesday, but others can't meet till Wednesday. You also have that person who doesn't respond at all. Yes, you know who you are. It's a hugely inefficient system. Well, AI already has a fix for this. With tools like Clara and XAI, the technology will organize and book the meetings for you. Brilliant. Okay, let's break down how it works, because when we talk about how AI learns, we need to distinguish this computer learning from human learning. Let's start with an example of a child reading a picture book. They see some animals and are taught the difference between a dog and a cat. The child learns that a dog barks, a cat meows, and a dog is generally bigger, and cats supposedly have 9 lives. For AI, however, it only learns from historical data inputs. So using the same example, if we were to provide pictures of 3 different large yellow dogs and 3 black cats to a computer, and told the computer that these 3 images are dogs and those 3 images are cats, when the computer sees an image that matches or is close to one of these images, it will return dog or cat. But if the computer is presented a small white dog or a striped fat cat, it will return error. This is because the computer does not have this information within its data history. But if the computer has access to every dog and cat breed ever recorded, a much bigger data set, then its likelihood to get this observation correct is much higher. So a driving principle for AI is the need for large data sets. The bigger the data set, the better the outcomes. So where does this data come from? Well, hundreds, if not thousands of places. Companies, organizations and governments are collecting data from almost every digital device. It's worth noting that we are experiencing an avalanche of data today, with 90% of the world's data being generated in the last 2 years. And it's set to soar even further. As you're finding out, digital is everywhere, and this data collection is now referred to as big data. We discussed this more in its own video. But how does AI affect our everyday lives? Well, in a lot of ways. For example, AI is a big help when you're traveling in another country. With its translation software, it will stop you from saying embarazado when you're trying to say avergonzado. Oops. Another way is through voice recognition software. After recording and identifying literally millions of spoken words and understanding basic spoken language structure, AI can listen to voice commands, interpret, and provide answers. This technology is installed on devices like Siri, Google Home, Amazon Alexa, and so on. You can ask your AI-powered device for the weather, news updates, to play music. It can even tell you a joke, although they do need a bigger data set on that one. So sophisticated is voice recognition software, we are seeing a rapid emergence of voice-to-text capability, talking to a recorder that turns your speech into written text. This is so advanced, some are predicting the keyboard's days are numbered. Everything will move to voice activation. So yes, AI is good for these small tasks, but how is it actually beneficial on a more global scale? Some interesting examples include sending robots into fire rather than firefighters, or exploring the ocean floor, or even outer space. Its benefits are astronomical, no pun intended. The extensions of AI are endless. Imagine for a second how helpful it would be if every medical record in the world relating to, say, skin cancer was within the AI's dataset. AI has the potential to analyze sample images of skin and determine whether or not you have skin cancer in a matter of seconds, drawing on huge data sets and making determinations way faster than medical staff can manage today. Now, expand that in complexity a millionfold and you start to see how powerful this could be. So now let's figure out where AI is going.